A couple of weeks ago, my family and I took a trip to the Great Lakes of Ontario. As I was walking along the shore, I saw a dead fish. As I looked closer, I saw that it has multiple circulars with bite all over its body. I was really confused on what might have killed this fish, so I took a picture and showed it to one of the workers there. He told me that the fish died because it was attacked by a sea lamprey. I asked him what is a sea lamprey. He told me sea lamprey is a parasitic fish, which has an eel-like body but without the pair fins. It is unique from other fishes because it doesn't have jaws. I asked, how does it eat? He said that their mouth looks like a large oral-sucking discs filled with horn-shaped teeth. It has 7 gills located behind both eyes. I asked him, have they always lived in the Great Lakes? He said no, sea lampreys are native to the Atlantic Ocean, not the Great Lakes. They are found along the North American coast, from Newfoundland and Labrador to Florida. Can also be found in the eastern North Atlantic. So, I asked him how did sea lampreys end up in the Great Lakes? He said that sea lampreys' first exposure to the Great Lakes is dated as far as the 1800s. Their migration from the Atlantic Ocean initiated through the construction of canals, dams, and flood control structures throughout the east coast of the United States. A huge population of sea lampreys was bought by ships that worked trade routes. However, its progress into the inner lakes of the Great Lake was delayed for almost 100 years by the impassable barrier formed by Niagara Falls, which served as a natural barrier and kept them out from entering. But unfortunately, this natural barrier was eventually ended through the construction of the Welland Canal in 1829, allowing sea lampreys to enter the inner lakes. Sea lampreys were first sighted in Lake Erie in 1921. Once they entered the Lake Erie, they spread rapidly into the other lakes. I told him that it is great to see new species coming to the Great Lakes. It will diversify the types of animals living in our lakes. He shook his head and said the sea lampreys had enormous negative impacts on the Great Lakes since they got here. He mentioned that since sea lampreys are not native to Great Lakes, they don't evolve with naturally occurring Great Lakes fish species. Their aggressive and predatory behavior give them a strong advantage over the other fish species to prey on, including the top predators of the lake ecosystem like the lake trout. The way they attack is they attach to fish body with their sucking disc and sharp teeth, scraping through scales and skin of the fish, and feed on their body fluids, often killing the fish. This prey-on attack from a full-grown lamprey often results in a death of the prey, either directly from the loss of fluids and tissues or indirectly from the stress. If the fish is fortunate enough to escape, the bite wound gets infection causing the fish to become ill or even die. During its life, each sea lamprey can kill 40 or more pounds of fish. During the 1940s and 1950s, sea lampreys almost whipped lake trout, as they were killed by the lampreys to extinction. Also, as their population expanded, it greatly affected the fishery industry. Before the sea lampreys spread, the United States and Canada harvested about 15 million pounds of lake trout in the upper Great Lakes each year. I asked him about what can be done to solve the sea lampreys problem. He told me that government has been working on solving this problem for quite some and have been successful at it. He told me their approach is to take sea lampreys out of the Great Lakes so its ecosystem can go back to how it was before. He told me that man-made barriers have been constructed to block the upstream migration of spawning phase of sea lampreys. Most barriers allow untargeted fish to pass with minimal disruption. He also said, there are also sea lamprey traps that are laid out throughout the Great Lakes. They are designed to catch sea lampreys as they travel upstream to spawn, thus removing individuals from the spawning population. But the most efficient method they are using is called the TFM, which kills sea lamprey larvae in streams with little or no impact on other fish and wildlife. I asked how it possible that TFM kills sea lampreys but not other animals. He told me that there were extensive testings done on it. Scientists determined that TFM is non-toxic or has minimal effects on aquatic plants, and it is not harmful to humans or other mammals at the concentration applied.